Moonlight. A fleet of shadows threads the forest, teeth glinting, lungs burning. This is no lone predator. Tonight, we ask, how does a pack hunter tear flesh in coordinated moonlit chases? Wolves hunt as a unit, moving like a single mind. The question isn't whether they kill, but how they become a living weapon that corners and dismembers prey under the silver glare. This video follows that dark curiosity. What biological tools, brains, jaws, senses, and rituals let wolves orchestrate violent, synchronized chases until flesh gives way? Call them brutal, efficient, elegant in horror. Canis lupus, the wolf, evolved as a social hunter. Every tooth, every howl, and every flank has a purpose in that moonlit carnage. Scientific name aside, the wolf is a predator built to run, bite, and coordinate. Understanding its anatomy and nervous system explains how packs turn pursuit into ritualized slaughter. Expect close clinical descriptions and stark images: muscle, sinew, bone, and strategy. This is nature stripped of romance, a mechanical cruelty refined by millions of years. Again, how does a pack hunter tear flesh in coordinated moonlit chases? We'll dissect that question from senses to social rules, step by bloody step. Picture a stag running, lungs aflame, shadowed by 8 predators that never collide. They split, cut off, force mistakes. A choreography of exhaustion and puncture wounds. This choreography depends on anatomy and communication. To understand the brutality, we must first open the wolf's body and mind. Jaws, teeth, muscles, and the nervous commands behind every lunge. The hunt begins with the body. In the next block, we examine bones and flesh, what allows sustained pursuit, explosive acceleration, and the crushing bite that begins the tearing. Wolves are built for endurance. Long legs, springy tendons, and a narrow chest create a runner that can trot for miles, wearing prey down until collapse becomes inevitable. Their spine and pelvis absorb jolts, letting a wolf change direction mid-stride with brutal agility. That flexibility turns a pack into a living trap around a fleeing animal. Musculature matters. Powerful hindquarters release force through long strides, while shoulder and neck muscles anchor the head for impact and shaking, crucial in tearing flesh. The wolf's jaw is both a vise and a shears. Massive temporalis muscles clamp the mandible. Carnassial teeth slice tendon and muscle like scissors, designed by evolution. Canines spear, molars crush. Those teeth, combined with jaw strength, create tearing forces that pull skin from bone, opening cavities for blood and guts, the mechanics of dismemberment. Skin and coat also play roles. Tucked muscles and loose hide let wolves grip and shake without losing purchase, a grisly engineering that aids prolonged tugging and tearing. Lungs and cardiovascular design support relentless pursuit. Efficient oxygen exchange and a heart tuned for long exertion. Let wolves chase at a steady pressure until prey succumbs. The brain matters as much as brawn. In Canis lupus, motor cortex and cerebellum coordinate muscle timing. Neural circuits enable synchronized bursts and sudden directional shifts. Sensory systems prime the hunt. Olfaction maps scent trails. Vision reads motion in low light. And hearing detects the faintest break of twig or the irregular breath of a wounded animal. Wolves are crepuscular hunters, most active at dawn and dusk. Their eyes favor contrast and motion, perfect for detecting panic in the moonlit chaos of a chase. Whiskers and facial muscles refine close-range attacks. When jaws close, subtle facial cues and tactile feedback stop misfires, preventing a pack from fatally colliding while attacking together. Pain receptors and adrenaline sculpt behavior. Nerves send instant updates during a skirmish. Hormones shift priorities from caution to cold, often merciless, efficiency. Digestive anatomy is optimized for feast and famine. A wolf can gorge on large meals, then endure days of scarcity, a rhythm that supports the chaos and carnage of pack hunting. Paws matter. Thick pads, curved claws, and interdigital fur provide traction on ice, mud, and leaf litter, letting wolves maintain grip when prey slips or bolts. Skeletal robustness prevents catastrophic injury during battles. Reinforced limb bones resist torsion and impact, allowing wolves to risk collisions during coordinated flanking maneuvers. Thermoregulation helps endurance. Thick pelage insulates during cold chases, while vascular adaptations prevent overheating during long-distance pursuits. Neurochemistry underlies boldness and risk-taking. Dopamine and serotonin balance aggression and cohesion in Canis lupus groups, prompting individuals to press the attack for the pack's benefit. All these physical traits answer one part of our central question. The wolf is built to pursue, bite, and hold, creating the mechanical basis for coordinated tearing under moonlight. But anatomy is only half the story. How do wolves use those tools in concert? The next section decodes hunting roles, communication, and strategies that produce synchronized violence. Hunting begins long before contact. Wolves scout and stalk, reading landscape and wind. They test defenses, probe reactions, and recruit the right numbers for a specific prey type. Packs assign roles. Chasers drive prey. Flankers cut escape routes. Blockers hold position. This division of labor turns individual strength into a coordinated killing machine. Communication is subtle and constant. Tail flicks, ear positions, eye glances, and vocal signals. A lift of the head or a soft trill can redirect the whole pack instantly. Howling matters. Long-range calls assemble distant members or fix the moving herd. At night, a howl maps positions and rallies individuals into the synchronized hunt. During pursuit, wolves exploit prey psychology. They force panicked animals into straight runs, make them circle toward ambush points, and capitalize on fatigue and injury. Wolves use terrain like a scalpel. Ridgelines, gullies, and dense stands become funnels that compress movement, making escape unpredictable and strengthening the pack's advantage. Coordination often relies on eye contact. A leader will lock gaze with a subordinate, guiding flank adjustments. This silent choreography prevents collisions and synchronizes strikes. Risk distribution is strategic. Younger wolves take perilous roles that tire prey, while older, experienced individuals make the decisive bites that end the struggle. When contact is made, wolves rarely bite randomly. They aim for soft spots, flanks, hamstrings, throat, creating hemorrhage or crippling injury that accelerates collapse. The first bite often causes disorientation. Subsequent bites target mobility. Systematic tearing removes connective tissue, making escape physically impossible and feeding easier. Feeding order preserves pack stability. Dominant wolves eat first, subordinates after. This social protocol reduces infighting, ensuring future hunts remain coordinated and savage. Wolves can persistently harass larger prey, biting and circling until exhaustion. Those repeated injuries compound into a slow, methodical collapse, a prolonged communal act of killing. They also show opportunism. Packs exploit seasonal weaknesses, birthing seasons, winter scarcity, or disease outbreaks to increase kill success with minimal risk. Noisy sorting happens at the carcass. Growls and snaps maintain hierarchy, but cooperation returns when danger approaches. The pack will defend food at all costs, united in aggression. Learning matters. Pups observe attacks and practice in play. Those practice sessions refine timing and jaw pressure. The cultural transmission of efficient tearing and pursuit in Canis lupus. Hunting styles vary by environment. Tundra wolves rely on endurance, forest wolves on ambush. Mountain packs specialize in flanking. Each habitat shapes the choreography of cruelty. Wolves sometimes feign retreat to lure prey into traps. This deliberate deception requires trust among pack members, a harsh social sophistication that amplifies lethal efficiency. When prey fights back, wolves adjust. They double team, distract, and bite from behind. That adaptability turns each failure into a new attempt, refining strategy mid-chase. At night, shadows and scent rules replace color vision. Wolves move with stealth and timing, using silence as a weapon, collapsing distances before the victim can fully sense danger. Pack cohesion is measured in microseconds. A step too late can cost a bite or a life. Synchrony is not mystical. It's practiced, reinforced, and biologically rewarding. Predation leaves marks. Scars on adult wolves tell stories of past hunts, misjudged charges, and near-death collisions, a living archive of communal learning and risk. Wolves can detect weakness from scent. Blood, stress chemicals, and slowed gait announce a vulnerable target. That chemical intelligence reduces time spent chasing and increases kill rate. The pack's momentum matters. Once momentum builds, wolves push relentlessly, exploiting small errors until prey collapses. This cumulative pressure is a hallmark of pack hunting. Wolves also scavenge when opportunities arise. A collective approach to carrion prevents waste and teaches younger individuals the value of group feeding and coordinated access. When prey is enormous, wolves puncture and bleed. They avoid direct frontal confrontation, instead targeting limbs and flanks to bleed the animal into submission. Survival depends on timing. Hit too early and prey escapes. Too late and pack members risk fatal injury. Wolves have evolved timing tuned by generations of failed and successful hunts. This strategy is not mindless brutality. It's an adaptive set of tactics that maximize calories while minimizing individual risk, coordinated through social cognition. To sustain such hunts, social bonds are essential. Next, we examine pack structure, dominance, cooperation, and the costly sacrifices that keep the hunting engine running. Packs are complex families, often dominated by an alpha pair. But dominance is negotiated through ritual, displays, and occasionally open violence. Social rules written in teeth. Cooperation depends on reciprocity. Wolves share kills, guard pups, and assist in hunts. This mutual investment explains why a pack will risk so much for a communal meal. Conflict exists. Hunger and rank provoke fights. Yet even after brutal skirmishes, reconciliation behaviors, grooming, submissive postures, restore cohesion necessary for future hunts. Pups are central to social life. Adults tolerate their mistakes during play because those errors are training for the precision required in coordinated chases and tearing. Alloparental care, where non-breeding wolves feed and guard pups, strengthens bonds. That shared childcare also builds hunting teams through prolonged social exposure and learning. Coalitions form around kinship and familiarity. Packs with strong relatedness show higher coordinated success because trust reduces hesitation during risky maneuvers. Wolves use punishment and exclusion to enforce rules. A rogue hunter risks ostracism, a death sentence in hostile environments where solitary survival is rare. Hierarchy determines feeding order and breeding rights. Dominant pairs ensure lineage continuity, while subordinates contribute labor, hunts, babysitting, and sentinel duty. Social memory is long. Packs remember successful leaders and effective hunters. That cultural continuity maintains hunting strategies across generations, preserving lethal choreography. Territoriality binds cooperation. Packs defend ranges that support their hunting style. Invaders spark violent skirmishes that test a group's cohesion and readiness to risk blood. Leadership can be fluid. Experienced elders may lead hunts, but younger, faster wolves may take point in chase phases. This flexibility increases pack adaptability and lethal success. Social bonds tie directly into reproduction and the life cycle. Now, we follow how wolves perpetuate this violent choreography through mating, birth, and the brutal schooling of pups. Breeding usually concentrates in the alpha pair. Dominant control of reproduction stabilizes pack numbers, ensuring enough hands, or paws, are available for coordinated hunting routines. Gestation lasts roughly 2 months. Birthing dens protect vulnerable pups. Adults become increasingly aggressive around the den, defending the future workforce of hunters with lethal intent. Pups open their eyes after 2 weeks and begin play fighting. Those rough games are rehearsal for the precise bites, grips, and chases they'll need to participate in real hunts. Adults regurgitate meat for pups, teaching them to process tissue and tolerate blood. Early exposure to carrion and rupture scars shapes future tolerance to gruesome feeding scenes. Sibling competition is fierce. When food is scarce, weaker pups may die or be rejected. A brutal selection that favors the genes most suited to communal hunting life. As pups mature, they're gradually integrated into hunts. Their first real kills are often supervised. Adults orchestrate roles to minimize danger while maximizing training value. Dispersal shapes pack dynamics. Young wolves leave to found new packs or die trying. Those who survive take learned tactics elsewhere, spreading hunting culture across landscapes. Lifespan varies, but wild wolves face constant attrition, hunting injuries, winters, and human conflict. Those losses constantly reshape pack knowledge and hunting efficiency. Reproductive skew and territorial fights create lethal outcomes. Rival packs may kill pups or adults, further embedding violence into the cycle that maintains hunting traditions. Beyond gore and tactics, wolves play a profound ecological role. Next, we examine how this pack hunter shapes ecosystems, for better and for worse. As apex predators, wolves regulate herbivore numbers and behavior. Their presence rewires landscapes, forcing prey to avoid risky zones and allowing vegetation to recover in refuges. By culling the weak, wolves influence gene pools, disease prevalence, and population dynamics. Their pack hunts are selective pressures that favor particular traits in prey species. Carcasses left behind feed dozens of scavengers and microbes, redistributing nutrients and sustaining a grim but vital food web that depends on the pack's bloody efficiency. Removing wolves alters ecosystems, overgrazing, habitat degradation, and trophic cascades. their absence can be as catastrophic as human hunting is destructive. Wolves also interact with humans, often violently. Livestock depredation prompts lethal control, which disrupts pack knowledge and can paradoxically increase predation on herds. Conservation reintroductions show their ecosystem power. Once released, packs reshape rivers, forests, and mammal communities, a top-down force of natural regulation. But wolves can also threaten small or fragmented populations. In human-dominated landscapes, pack hunting dynamics collide with conservation priorities and livestock economies. Disease also interacts with packs. Outbreaks can reduce hunting ability, collapse packs, and create ripple effects across prey species and scavenger networks. Climate change shifts prey distributions and pack ranges, forcing wolves to adapt tactics or face nutritional stress that undermines their coordinated hunting prowess. Human persecution fragments populations, erasing cultural knowledge of hunt strategies. That's not just species loss, it's the disappearance of lethal traditions perfected over millennia. Understanding wolves as ecosystem engineers reframes horror as function. Their brutal hunts maintain balance, however unpleasant that balance may appear to us. We've traced anatomy, tactics, and ecology. Now we pause to reckon with ethical questions. Should we preserve a creature whose very survival depends on coordinated tearing? Wolves evoke fear and myth, but fear sometimes drives persecution. Ethical reflection must weigh ecological necessity against human livelihoods and emotional reactions to brutality. Science gives us facts. Canis lupus shapes ecosystems, carries cultural hunting knowledge, and endures by cooperation. Those facts complicate simple narratives of villainy or victimhood. Conservation choices are moral choices. Do we protect the pack's right to hunt as it evolved, even when that hunt is violent? Or do we engineer ecosystems to avoid bloodshed? There's no clean answer. Balancing human needs and wolf ecology requires nuance, compensation for losses, and respect for the brutal realities of natural selection. We began with a question: how does a pack hunter tear flesh in coordinated moonlit chases? Anatomy, neurochemistry, and social culture together create that terrible efficiency. Watching a wolf pack is watching evolution in motion. Cooperation wielded as violence, a biological pact that takes life to keep life. It is beautiful, and it is brutal. If this unsettled you, learn more. Support coexistence strategies, ethical conservation, and science-driven policy. Understanding the wolf's nature is the first step to living with it. Remember the name behind the howl: Canis lupus. Not myth, not monster. An apex social predator, honed by time into a pack hunter that masters coordinated moonlit chases. The forest returns to silence, but the lesson remains. Nature's cooperation can be as merciless as any machine. We leave with questions, and the howl still echoes in our minds.